Hi everyone. Welcome to yet another edition of Let's Talk Design. And we'll be talking today about designing luxury spaces using stone. And my guests have just logged in, so I'm going to add them into the. Just allow me a minute. Hi.
Hello,
Hi.
hi, how are you?
Hi. How are you? Can you see me, hear me
Yeah, we
clearly?
can see you. Are
Okay,
we
I
visible?
Are we
Yes.
visible properly?
Yeah. Can you just
Okay.
come a little closer because then
Yeah,
we'll be in
sure.
the same frame. Yes.
Is that
Yes.
good?
That's perfect. Yes. Thank you.
Okay.
So, thank you very much for being a part
You're not audible. Yeah,
of Let's Talk Design today. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
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 we
yeah.
can.
So, our series is called Let's Talk Design with A-Class Marble. And today we'll be talking about designing luxury spaces with using stones.
Okay.
I'll just take a minute to introduce you to our
Sure, sure, sure,
audience.
sure.
Yeah, so today we have with us FLYP Studio, which is a New Delhi based multidisciplinary design practice that was founded by architect Yukti Goyal and architect Prince Katyar. Their work spans across varied typologies from residential, commercial, and retail interiors. They believe that they not only transform spaces, but they also flip them from damp to glam
Yeah.
by creating aesthetically stunning, luxurious interiors, keeping in mind their keeping in mind the client's varied design preferences. So thank you, Yukti, and thank you, Prince, for being with us here today. We're talking about designing luxury spaces using stone. If anybody in the audience has any questions for Yukti and Prince, I'd request them to drop them in the comment box. I have a few questions for you, so I'll straight
Sure.
away just start with that. So, with natural stone, one has discovered infinite possibilities of creating patterns and adding three dimension, and visual depth to even dull interior spaces.
hmm
What are your thoughts on this, and how have you played around with natural stones in your projects?
Yeah, hi Tanya. First of all, thank you so much for such a beautiful introduction to us. And thank you so much for having us. Yeah, Yukti would be answering this first.
So basically, Tanya, like you've already told that stone is a very important material that has been used in luxurious interiors. So according to us, stone is a nature's art. It is nothing less than a painting. Like for example, like a painting is unique in itself. So the stone has a different character. No matter, I mean, each and every stone is unique in itself, and the grain, the character, the color adds beauty to the interiors. Okay, so all these qualities that a stone has helps us to bring out the best of an interiors. So I would like to add that a stone is an everlasting material. It is itself an epitome of luxury. Okay, so when we personally use stone into a design, we try to bring out that character so that it adds depth, the dimension to our spaces. Okay, so no matter if it's a highlight wall or maybe some washroom that we are doing in stone, we it automatically adds that luxury to that space. So like you have already quoted that it adds a elegance to every dull interior. So I would like to sum up by saying that stone in itself is a luxurious material, and its character is enough to enhance any space.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Okay. So, according to you, luxury is a lifestyle, right? And with
Yeah.
your experience of projects, your knowledge of materials, how does one, could you share some insight into how one can make spaces luxurious even within a budget? Can you share some tips on, how to use natural stone to create luxury spaces, but at a budget?
Yeah, sure. First of all, I would like to add a bit advice or just a quote.
Yeah.
See, we at Flip Design doesn't believe that a small budget or some, I mean, yeah, some small budget is not at any major impact on the interiors. We
Right.
so if a client is not having some good budget or anything, still the flooring options, for example, we talk about the Italian flooring remains the same. If a client is having a small budget or the high-end budget, but the stone has the major domination over the flooring, the Italian stone majorly. So
Right.
coming to the first pointer, if we talk about the flooring, the Italian is, I mean, first and foremost option for every client that is in for the flooring options. Yeah. So, and every client has a preset or mindset saying that we flooring to हमें Italian ही लगानी है. Usually, every client says that
Basically,
we
it's in trend also, and I think there is no other material that can actually replace Italian marble flooring as far as now in current situation. So if we talk about any project, no matter if the budget is high or low, this thing is something that is constant. Obviously, the budget of the stone may vary, but the product remains the same. That is the Italian marble, usually that we use in residential floorings. So that is the first thing that remains the same. The second, obviously, are we are using marbles extensively in washrooms, because nowadays washroom is not something that is only used as a utility. It is more an experience. Okay, so when we apply different sort of marbles that are contrasting, or maybe we do a washroom in a single marble, it creates a story. And
exactly.
so I think any client who may not be going for a higher budget will still like to have at least a master washroom or maybe a powder room, let's say, in stone, so that it adds that character to the space. So what we usually do is we like to characterize our budget in such a manner that we can have at least some focal points in the house,
Exactly.
which can actually make the space look luxurious on the whole, rather than using a lot of budget, like expensive materials on other spaces. So it's more about allocating the budget to different spaces.
And for the last point, if a particular project is, I guess, short on the budget, so what we can do is we can use all the wastage of the stones or all the remainings of the stones for some wall decors or some murals or maybe the flooring of the balcony. So in that manner, a stone can be used in a budgeted manner. Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, with your experience in luxury homes, right? I mean, you spoke about Italian marble, of
Yeah.
course, being trendy. What are the other latest trends today? You know, what's new, especially when it comes to flooring and cladding?
See, definitely tiles are something that are used in place of stone nowadays. So we have different sort of tiles that are available in variable thicknesses and looks. So if I talk about laminum tiles, see different people call the tiles by different name. Maybe it's neolith, maybe it's laminum. But if I talk about a broader category, it's tiles at the end of the day. Okay.
Right.
So I think it's a very great option, and we have been using it extensively for flooring also. But
Right.
I think if I talk about my personal preference, I would still opt for Italian marble for flooring, and maybe for cladding, definitely we can go for tiles, maybe matte tiles, glossy tiles, and even leather finish tiles. So I think for cladding, it's a great option. But for flooring, I would still like to stick to the Italian marble.
Italian only.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, so you know, we all also recognize that, and you've spoken about it, and you know, everybody knows that marble is a symbol of timelessness, right?
Hmm.
It is considered to be one of the most elegant materials that are available.
Yes.
So when you're picking up marble for your projects, you know, what are the qualities that you look for that will, you know, that will help in defining what the style of the project is?
Okay. You see, first of all, obviously we have to consider that what application has to be done from that particular stone. So if we are picking something for the flooring, I mean, just for example, so we usually prefer gray tones or the tinge of grays. It's a proposal preference also. So in Italian, we usually prefer gray tones for the flooring options. So coming next to the one, next to the characteristics, a grain of the stone also plays a very, very important role, since our
Yeah.
personal preference is always toward the book matches.
We prefer creating statement walls or maybe highlight walls, you can say. So in that situation, we always look for some different character or some color. See, I'm a personal favorite of neutrals. Whenever I design you can always look for neutrals in my design. But in order to add a tinge of color, I prefer taking some stone that has a great character, or maybe some grain, or maybe some color that strikes out.
Yeah.
So for me, whenever I'm designing a highlight wall, I prefer that all these characteristics like book matching grains, then some texture to it. Nowadays, we are using leather finishes, we are using sandblasted
We're using CNC
stones, we are using
patterns. Yeah.
CNC patterns. So there are variable things that can be done to a stone in order to enhance its beauty. Okay, so the major factors that we look into while selecting a stone is obviously the color, the grain, the texture, and for the most important is the quality of the stone. As we all know, a lot of people don't prefer using Italian because of its filling and cracks. So this is something that we personally see while selecting a stone, especially for flooring, that the lot that we are selecting is not having some major cracks, or maybe it's not extensively filled. So these are all the characteristics that we look into while we are selecting different stones.
Specifically on the time of flooring, every client is just check the cracks of the stone.
Yeah, that is the thing.
It's a major issue. Yeah.
Okay, that's a very valid insight. Now you spoke about how you like to work with accent walls.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's obvious that even sometimes a simple bright wall can become like the most artistic element or an accent in the room. How can one use stone in such spaces? Or could you share examples of what types of stone you have used to create these accent walls?
See, I would say in our current project, we have basically used a sandstone that is Gwalior mint for a highlight wall for a double height staircase.
Right.
So we have played with the textures of Gwalior mint. Like we have kept some of them as the natural rough texture and other polished. And we have added some lights and some beautiful CNC pattern to it. We'll reveal it soon on our page also. So, I mean, it's not important that you always have to opt for a very expensive stone while doing an accent wall. It is majorly about how you apply it. Maybe if you don't have a character in the stone, like for example, I'm talking about Gwalior mint, it doesn't have any grain, but I have added a CNC pattern to it to enhance the look. And let's suppose nowadays Brazilian granites are very in. So we tend to backlit it to use the natural crystal effect of that. Okay. So that can be used as a highlight wall. And third, maybe if you are opting for some good colored Italian, we can get it a leather finish. Because I think nowadays mattes are quite in instead of the glossy finishes.
Yeah.
So it adds that warmth and that coziness to the space. So we try to capture that into the highlight walls. So what I mean is there are many forms, and it is a designer's skill that how you can use particular stones to enhance a space. So that's it, I think.
Okay, sounds good. So, also natural stones are luxurious but eco-friendly materials,
Yeah.
right? Could you share some ideas on how else can one use stone, to optimize the eco-friendly nature of stone, when you sort of bring them into interiors?
Mm-hmm. See, stone is something that can be possibly used everywhere. If we talk about the tops, all the tops are majorly dominated by stones only. If we talk about the kitchen tops, if we talk about the furniture tops, if we talk about any table tops, or even the floor tops, obviously, these all are dominated by stones only. Okay, so first I would like to tell about regarding the furniture. So the stone can be used on the tabletops. Maybe it's on the living room table, or it's a side table, or it's a dining top maybe. So stone is majorly on the tabletops in regarding the furniture. Secondly, what we have been regularly using is from nowadays, what we have regularly using is the stone carved basins.
Right.
Yeah, stone carved basins are really in, and they make your, washrooms, usual washrooms or the powder rooms really luxurious. And walls are majorly dominated by stones also. They also add an artistic character to the space and to the wall also.
See, what I feel is if we talk about eco-friendliness of stone, what we really mean is it's going to last forever. Okay, it's not going to perish. It's going to stay as it is forever. So, like Princess clear has told us that we can use it in furnitures and we can use it in washroom basins and we can use it in decor pieces. So the purpose is that that thing is going to stay forever. So when we talk about some material that is being eco-friendly, we talk about how long it's going to stay and what impact does it has on the environment. Okay. So if I talk about other things, they might have some chemicals involved in the processing and maybe some fumes are emitted when they're applied. But stone being such a material which is natural and can be molded into any form, so I think it is something that can be used in anywhere and everywhere. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
And nowadays, since the treatment and processing of the stone has really come a long way, so many CNC patterns or any other pattern can be achieved very easily on stone surfaces.
Right.
So it's just like a blank canvas. So stone can be a blank canvas. Anything can be achieved on it nowadays. Yeah.
I think that's a really sort of good note to sum up the conversation on.
Yeah.
I'd like one more thing. I think our audience is always interested in knowing is, have you done something new beyond the traditional sort of usage of stone, which is like tape, which is like flooring or wall cladding and whatever? Is there something new where you've tried stone, and you also did not anticipate that the results will be fabulous? It could be furniture, it could be a product, it could be anything.
Okay, just give us some time.
Yeah, let us think.
Like I said, it could be furniture, it could be anything. It could be a tabletop where you use a stone that is conventionally not used as a tabletop. But you tried it out.
I'm not sure how many of the people are using Brazilian granites for kitchen tops, because I've not seen much of the kitchens. Usually people opt for either quartz or maybe some granites like what we call that, blue pearl and brown pearls. Okay, but we recently have used a Brazilian granite called Patagonia, and it has come out really well, because people don't usually opt it because of its very strong character. Because when we are talking about kitchens, it has to be a little subtle and less busy. But I think we personally used it and it has come out really well, because in that kitchen we have kept the shutters really neutral and the only highlight is the stone.
Yeah.
Right.
So for me, that is something people don't usually do.
Our other clients also liked it.
Yeah,
really, yeah.
It's something that we've experimented with and it has come out really
Turned
well.
out really well. Yeah.
Okay, that sounds really, really interesting. So, if you had to share, one stone that sort of represents each of your personalities, what would that one stone be?
For me, it would be white Satavario. I have liking for the whites.
Okay, nice. And what about you?
And I usually prefer the darker colored stones. Okay, so anything that has a strong character, is in black, is something that appeals me naturally. So because it's very easy to play with. It fits out everywhere, but has a unique character. So for me, it can be a black Marquino or maybe an NSL or something of that sort. So that really attracts me, and I try using that into my designs.
Okay, so I'm now going to ask the audience if they have any questions. I haven't seen. I think a lot of people have said that this is a great conversation, and thank you for giving such insights. One more question that we get very often, and it's okay. As somebody has asked, have you guys used stone in facade design? If yes, how do you analyze the load that it brings to the structure of the building?
Yeah, actually, hi Devashish. Actually, he is my senior who has asked this question. Yeah. So yeah, we have used stone in one of our projects, in one of our Rohini projects. We have used stone in a facade, but yeah, obviously since it's a residential project and the structure load of a very big mass and of a residential very much. So yeah, we didn't analyze the load of the stone obviously, Yeah, but we used it and the building is still standing strong.
Actually, the point is for elevations, we usually prefer going for tiles. First of all, it's economical, and secondly, like he has already told, that it does not add a mass to the space, okay, the structure. It doesn't add weight to the structure, and it is easy to install also, because as you've seen, if the thing is very heavy, you require, nowadays, although adhesives are available, earlier they were bolted, the stones were bolted on the elevation. So if we are opting for stone for any elevation, we usually do it only on the highlight spaces, just to add that character, maybe in the form of some chiseling, or some places where we have a wall. We don't prefer using it on the frame structures, because in that situation it requires more strength. So we use it very limitedly on the elevations.
Okay, very interesting. Thank you for that question. This was a really, really useful conversation, Yukti and Prince. My last question, I mean, it's not really a question. As you know, the series is called Let's Talk, hashtag Let's Talk Design.
Yeah.
So if you had to say, if each one of you had to say one thing, Let's Talk Design about stone, what would that be?
It would be one of my personal suggestion or advice for every designer or client who are majorly opting for stones as flooring or as washroom claddings or anything. See, one thing what we figured out over the years is that a particular client is ready to invest very much into the stone, but not that much into its craftsmanship. See, stone is an expensive affair. So what I would like to, sum up my advice in this line only. So the scenario is you have to invest that much in craftsmanship also if you need to have the proper output of your stone. This is one of the major problem what we have faced over the years, that a client is not ready to invest that much in craftsmanship.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So one should not hold back onto the, spending on the craftsmanship. Only then you will be able to get the perfect output of your stone. Yeah.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks, Prince. Yukti, is there something you'd like to add?
See, I think we have covered most of the things. We have talked about the luxury that stone adds to a space, and how we can use stone in different forms, different places, and even different finishes. So I would just like to end by saying that stone is something that should be used for focal points. What I personally feel is, instead of doing the entire space in stone, there should be a limited space, but it should be designed such that it becomes the wow factor of the house. For me, this is how I design, because uh, uh, we know that stone is something that is quite expensive. So what I feel is, it should be designed in a manner that it talks about its worth, not how much it is put, how it is put.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. That was really, really useful and a good note to end on. Thank you very much, Yukti and Prince, for being a part of the A-Class journey. As a gesture of gratitude, they'll be planting a tree on your behalf, and you will get a certificate for the same. A-Class has also celebrated more than 50 years of being in the industry, and this
we are already
series
associated
commemorates
with
that. So thank you very much for being a part of the A-Class journey. Good luck in all your work, and we look forward to seeing many more glorious luxury designs from you.
Thank you so much, and it was a very interactive session here, and we really enjoyed all the conversation we had. So looking forward to many more.
Yes, thank you
Thank you so
much
much for having us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.